BT's Business Report is sponsored by Dynamic Funds.
All right, welcome back. And we say welcome back to Mike Eppel, who I have not talked to in a month. Hello.
4 weeks.
It's been 4 weeks.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Hi. Nice
Good
to see you. You
not
were
that we haven't seen each other, but
in different capacities.
Face to face, exactly. Different time slots, right? So
there it is.
Nice to see you.
And you had a busy week off. We don't have to go into the details, but you were touring around Ontario, shall we say?
I got my degree in road tripology.
Okay, nice. With a minor in
my oldest daughter, she's going to post-secondary school next year. My goodness, how time flies. So we thought, hey, let's use our time and tour some of Ontario's universities. So we were in Kitchener-Waterloo, and then up to Kingston, and then to Peterborough, and all over the place. So it was, and fortunately we had some pretty nice weather, with the exception of it snowed last Tuesday. It was a nice week off. Got a lot done.
I don't know if you went to the Laurier campus. You said Kitchener-Waterloo, but I'll give it a shout out to the Go Golden Hawks if she's considering it. Okay, let's talk about the big story today outside of the border. Let's begin with what broke on Friday. BC Supreme Court making their ruling with regards to the Rogers saga, let's say. And now we know that there will not be an appeal. Can you break this down for us?
Yeah, the BC Supreme Court ruled in favor of Edward Rogers, the son of the late company founder Ted Rogers, regarding who not so much who controls the family trust. Edward Rogers, as the head of the Rogers Family Trust, has 97% voting control of the stock. But it comes back to, okay, could he shake up the board of directors as he wanted to without an official shareholder vote or an outside shareholder vote? This was pushed back by Ted Rogers' widow, Loretta, and some of the other family members. But at the end of the day, the BC Supreme Court on Friday said, yes, as the head of the family trust, Edward Rogers can do as he pleases with the makeup of the board of directors. And of course, this comes back to questions about company leadership at Rogers. Right now, though, it looks like it is a truce, peace, whatever you want to call it, as the Rogers Communications statement late last night saying they will not be appealing that ruling. So we'll see where this goes. But stability right now at Rogers with Edward Rogers shaking up the board of directors. And again, we'll watch for the market reaction, Melanie, because, of course, this comes at a time when Rogers is in the midst of the Shaw deal. And there's been some question whether or not that would potentially jeopardize it at the regulatory level. And we'll be tracking both Rogers and Shaw company share prices coming up today.
All right, the other big story today, of course, you saw Tammy hanging out by the Rainbow Bridge. I don't think she's going to be doing any crossing. She's just reporting for us today. But a lot of people will be, maybe, dependent on some of these requirements and restrictions.
It comes back to the PCR test. If you have to go and have a test either on this side of the border before you cross, if you're going for less than 72 hours, or if you have to spend a couple of $100 U.S. stateside, depending on where you go, to, for the convenience of crossing the border. Sure, there are going to be a lot of snowbirds heading south. That is certainly the case. But for the border communities who are hoping for a big pickup in business on day travel, that's still debatable. So we'll see how busy the border actually is coming up today. The other big reopening, if you want to call it that, Melanie, is the transatlantic routes. The U.S. allowing more flights from the U.K. as of today and European destinations. Those are the most lucrative and some of the busiest for the big airlines. So I'm watching companies like American Airlines, the parent company of British Airways. They're all seeing big gains today because they're going to see a huge increase potentially in business travel. This has been something that has really been held back by all of the restrictions in place. People have been doing the Zoom calls, but a lot of face-to-face meetings might now be back in the planning for a lot of companies because it's been restricted up till this point.
Hey, Mike, when CEO Tesla, Elon Musk says, put something on Twitter, people pay attention, don't they? They go crazy.
They do, and yeah, he's certainly got enough followers for that. But is he trolling Twitter with this question, should I sell 10% of Tesla, my 10% of my Tesla holdings? Now, Elon Musk is the world's richest person at this point, worth well over $200 billion. He's got a big tax bill coming up because he had all sorts of stock options, and those are going to be taxed. So he's looking at about a $15 billion tax bill to the U.S. government. So by asking Twitter, should I sell shares? Well, he's going to have to anyway. So the fact that Twitter said, yes, absolutely you should sell some stock. This, though, comes back to, again, the fact that Elon Musk doesn't draw a salary. He gets paid in company stock, and this, the whole issue of taxing billionaires and millionaires and trying to pay for all sorts of programs right now by various governments. Well, this raises a few questions about how all of this should be done. The bottom line here, though, is, Melanie, for Tesla shareholders, are seeing their stock drop by 7% this morning because a big chunk of Tesla stock could soon be hitting the open market.
Mike, for anyone living in the GTA and they are keeping count, especially in downtown Toronto, you'll notice there are a number of cannabis shops. It seems like, walking downtown, every corner you look at, there are like 5. And so you're keeping track. Can this be sustained?
Growing like weeds, shall we say?
I knew it. You were holding that one in your pocket.
Yeah. Toronto started a great story yesterday about all of the cannabis retail locations that have opened up in the province, more than 1,000, a third of them in the GTA. And the big question, is the market sustainable, or are people getting in with, easy regulations related to retail locations and at risk of potentially losing a lot of money? I mean, the cannabis companies have really never made any money. The corporate entities, and now the retail sector, it's still 50% black market sales here. There's a lot of questions about how the OCS regulates things, and a couple of city councilors are now saying that residents should have more say about where these stores are going and whether or not the neighborhoods don't want them specifically. There are, I think, 3 times as many pot shops as there are LCBOs, and then you get into bar and restaurant regulations and all that. But yeah, they're springing up, and there's been a lot of storefronts. Look, Melanie, so many storefronts went out of business during the cannabis or the COVID closures, and now you've got cannabis saying, "Hey, we'll take that space." Right.
Mike, as always, a pleasure. We'll talk to you again, same time, same place tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we're going to revisit our top story this morning, and not everyone excited for the reopening of the Canada-U.S. land border. Some businesses south of the border still believe strict testing requirements will keep tourists at home in Canada. We're going to break that all down for you up next. We'll be right back.